All right, my birth story. Chapter 1. Just joking. Also, yes, I know that we do still have our Christmas tree. We brought it from inside outside. We're figuring that out. So just in case, I know. So my birth story. And to give context, I found out that I was pregnant in January. Me and my husband got married the November of 2022. Found out we were expecting in January, early January of 23. So it's been a really cool ride. Definitely fast tracked, but we're excited, we're grateful. And I'll tell you, well, I mean, I mentioned it in my last video. Oh, okay, we got a little golden hour action. Okay. My husband will cringe at that, but also that's really cool. What was I saying? Oh my gosh. Basically, the day of, I was still working, so she came a week earlier. She was due September 16th and was born September 8th. So September 8th, day comes, and I'm set to work on site at my job, but I woke up not feeling too well, ended up calling my supervisor on duty and asking, is there any possibility of my being able to work remote? And because of how close I was to, you know, being to my due date, she said yes. And so I did work remote that day. Flash forward to lunchtime, me and my husband go and get lunch at a little restaurant around the corner. And so everything's chill, we're chilling. It's fine. And then I like stop in my tracks and I'm like, because I feel this pain and it's like a weird pain. Mind you, I don't think anything's like TMI once you're pregnant or like post-pregnancy, but I had already been going to the bathroom a lot this morning, so I was like, oh, I just need to go to the bathroom. But this pain felt different, so I was like, and so my eyes are like bulging out, and Rashad's like, are you good? And I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. And so I go to the bathroom, and I think I told him a little bit about like the pain I was experiencing. But I go to the bathroom, pain goes away. I come back and he's like, are you okay? And I was like, well, there's this pain. It's like, I can't even describe it, but it's not here anymore. So we go about our business. We go and eat. A few minutes later, pain comes back. And so we both are like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And I had already experienced Braxton Hicks before. And so I was like, could it be Braxton Hicks? But I hadn't experienced this pain. And so I was like, I don't think so. And so I immediately start crying because I'm like freaking out. And Rashad takes a moment to pray with me at the table. And he's like, okay, we'll just start timing them. We love the lighting. Praise the Lord for the lighting. This is actually really cool. And so they lasted a minute. And if you don't know, most contractions can last anywhere from like, I think like at minimum 40 seconds, but most will last at least a minute. And so we're just like, oh no, or not oh no, but we're like, okay, this could be happening. They're 16 minutes apart. We end up going back home. I'm like working or whatever. And I did call my midwife just to see. I was basically just trying to figure out like, are these Braxton Hicks? What do they feel like? What should I be looking out for? And she stayed on the phone with me for a while, and she said, you were able to keep up the conversation. Most contractions will kind of take your breath away. And you were able to still, you know, like keep up the conversation. But I'm pretty good at like not being distracted, but just kind of like pushing through. And so I was like, nah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they do take my breath away. And so anyways, she's like, we'll keep each other updated, just call me if anything. And so it goes from 16 minutes to 13 minutes, from 13 minutes to 10 minutes, and this is like every hour. It's like dropping pretty rapidly as far as like the time frame between the contractions. And so then I think it's like 3 o'clock hits. They're about like, no, I don't think. I think so, yeah. Okay, I think it's at that point they're like 7 minutes apart. It was like 3 or 4 p.m., 7 minutes apart, and then that was kind of like the heads up call, because we were timing them. And she said not to time them with like the app, but like with an actual stopwatch. And and they're, that pain, man, that is wild. I was like, what the heck is happening? I'm like trying to breathe through them. And so they're every 7 minutes at this point, and she gave me some advice, some things that she could do, that I could do, sorry. And I was able to finish my shift, but by the time that I finished my shift, I was 5 minutes apart. And I'm like on the little like exercise ball. I'm like trying to jump in the shower. I'm trying to do everything to distract myself, because they always said one of the main reasons why a mom would have to get transferred either from like a home birth or like from a birthing center, which is what I was doing, to a hospital, is because of exhaustion. So they were like, try to relax. I know it's easier said than done, but like try to relax. So 5 minutes apart, and then it drops to 4, and then it drops to 3 within like the hour, or yeah, basically the hour or so. And so everything's moving super fast. And I am freaking out. I'm like crying, because I'm just like, yeah, there's no going back on this one. And so I'm like trying to put on worship music. And Rashad's on the phone with the midwife for the most part. And originally, we had planned to just go to the birthing center ourselves, but I ended up telling Rashad, I was like, I can't do this pain. I need you to like hold my hand. And so can you call my mom type of situation. And so we called my mom. At this point, they are 3 minutes or so apart. And Rashad's like packing everything up that we had, called my mom. And once we're in the car, we hit the ground running. They are literally 3 minutes apart. So like, there's no denying this baby's coming. And for me, I really just wanted to, man, I just wanted to like not be sent back home, because you do have to be a certain amount like dilated once you're at the center, or like in active labor. Sorry, is that the air conditioning unit? No, I don't think so. It's something that turned on. So I'm gonna move a little closer. We're gonna get nice and cozy. And so I'm just praying like that I'm enough dilated. So Rashad's counting the contractions. They're happening every 3 minutes, and that pain, man, like the best way I can explain it is like the groin area, like it's like a circle that like, it's like tingly pain, and then it radiates up for the full minute, and then it dies down, and then it comes back. And so I don't know if that helps anybody, but if you're interested in figuring out what contractions feel like, that's what it felt like for me. And I'm like in pain. We're like trying to get there as fast as we can. It felt like the longest ride ever. We get to the birthing center. Literally, the midwife pulls up at the same time as we do. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna check you. And I'm like sobbing because of the pain. And again, I'm freaking out. But the Lord is good. The Lord is faithful. Just trying to hang on, like listening to worship music, holding Rashad's hand. He's very strong, I will say. So I felt for him, because I was just like, I know that I'm like grabbing your hand right now. And so she's like, I'm gonna check you during your next contraction. And mind you, to give context, she did tell me earlier on in the day, sometimes for first-time moms, early labor isn't a thing. It can be more like you're past your due date. And so she was like, that's why she wanted me to kind of just stay in touch with her, because she was like, it may not happen tonight kind of thing. But she goes and checks me during my next contraction. She's like, so everything that I said on the phone, disregard. You're 9.5 centimeters dilated. You're having this baby tonight, basically. And so then I start crying, but like happy, also pain, but happy because I could, stay. And so she's like, I'm going to give you a second, and then you can meet me. I'm going to go fill up the tub. I'm going to get the room ready kind of thing. And so me and Rashad take a moment. We just pray, kind of hold each other. And the next 2 hours, not 4, 2. I keep doing that. So the next 2 hours, I'm in, obviously, active labor. I did want to do more of the tub birth, but that was crazy hard. Again, the contractions were very, very intense. The water didn't really help me. Rashad was in the tub with me, holding my hand, and I remember glimpses, and I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I really can't do this. I'm like trying to push, but then it was too early to push. My water hadn't broken. My mucus plug had gone, and so it's just like all these different factors. And the best way that he could explain it, he was like, that seeing you in that pain was hard, and I'm allergic to epidurals, or like what's in epidurals, so I couldn't really do that. Obviously at a birthing center, they do more of the holistic route, so that's not really a thing. But even like the laughing gas, I wasn't eligible for, so I was just, this is like 100% cold turkey, like natural labor. I just remember everybody trying to like console me, and I was just like, no more questions, no more this. I was yelling my heart out. And we tried the bathtub, we tried the shower, and at one point my midwife was like, okay, do you think we can try another position? Can we go to the bed? And I was like, yeah. Like, I was just kind of like, it was like I was there, but I wasn't there. I was reaching that point. This is like the 2-hour mark. Mind you, my contractions had started as early as like 12, and at this point it's like almost 10. So then I'm on all fours on the bed, and I'm like pushing and everything like that. And one of the things that they say is to try to push low, or like if you're grunting or you're screaming or whatever, try to push it low. I don't know how else to explain that, but it makes sense in the moment. And so I could feel that I was pushing differently. My water broke, I want to say it was like 10:06. And Rashad was like, what was that? Because obviously he's like right there next to my midwife. She was like, okay, water's broken. And so that was 10:06. And I'm like pushing, and I'm just like, bruh. And then I think it was like 10:14-ish. Rashad knows the exact timestamps, because for me, I was just trying to push this baby out. And she's like, okay, can we try one more position? It's like this little footstool or shower stool. So she brings it to the edge of the bed. She asks me to like sit on it. And as I'm walking over, it feels like baby's head is like crowning or like right there. And so I'm like kind of waddling over. I sit on the stool, and I think it was maybe 2 or 3 pushes. First push as hard as I could. And at that point, my mom was also there. So my mom's to my left, Rashad's to my right, midwife and assistant are like right in front of me. And the midwife has like a mirror, and she's like, I can see baby's head. And so she brings the mirror to that area, and I can see baby's head. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I think that's, at that point, it's not that the pain went away, but it was kind of, it was just the Lord at that point. But it was almost as if I couldn't feel the pain, and I was just like, just push. And so I pushed, and baby came out. And, oh man. And so baby came out. There was a lot, and at that point, it was just kind of like, everything happened really fast. And so me and Rashad are like having a moment, and it's just like hitting us like, oh my gosh, our daughter is here. My mom is like crying, and she's like congratulating me. She's like, you did it, kind of thing. And they give her to me immediately to like hold, and to like help pat her back so she can cry, get that first breath. And I'm still taking everything in. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And so baby wasn't immediately crying. They didn't show like scared concern. They were just like, all right, let me try, kind of thing. And so they took her back for a moment, and she cries. And again, me and Rashad are just kind of like, oh my God. And it was surreal just getting to know that our baby girl was here. They did say I was losing a lot more blood than they'd like to see, so they did give me, like, I think it was a shot of Pitocin or something, and another medicine to help kind of reduce that. But baby girl is here, and they immediately just placed her on my chest, and it was just a very out of this world surreal moment to know that little one is now earthside and here, and that the Lord carried us through. And so yeah, that is the day of my baby girl's birth, and it was an immediate relief physically, like no more pain. I was shaking and everything like that, but then again, like I had Rashad with me. My mom eventually did make her way out so we could have some private time, and then they do this thing called like the golden hour after the placenta was delivered, or like they took out the placenta. We did some very like minimal, like, you know, baby checking, making sure everything's good. And then they gave us like a golden hour where it was just me, Rashad, and baby, and we got to just be in bed and be with baby, and it was a beautiful, beautiful night. And so yeah, that is my birth story. What was my favorite part? I want to say my favorite part was just as the night went on, because we had a couple hours after, you know, everyone said hello, after we kind of FaceTime Rashad's parents, said hi to my parents and everything like that. I think it was just being able to see my baby girl in my arms and see Rashad next to me. Like, no one, there's nothing in the world I would trade that for. And I just, yeah. So, thankfully, it was a good pregnancy as far as like no dire complication. Baby girl is strong, baby girl is healthy, and I'm very grateful for my midwives, for my husband, for my mom, for the support of those around me. But yeah, very quick labor, because I don't think I mentioned this well, but basically 10 minutes passed from when my water broke to when baby girl was here. So very grateful for a fast labor. I commend the moms who have a longer one, and I would also, you know, of course, encourage them to remain in the Lord. But labor is hard, labor is tough and painful, and so whatever means it took for baby to get here, praise the Lord. But yeah, that is my birth story. That is my favorite part about my birth story, and yeah. Now we're about almost 5 months in, and I'm excited for where the Lord is gonna take us, where He has us going. And, you know, who knows, not saying that this is happening now, but obviously, if Lord willing, we can have more kiddos. We have different ways that we can approach it, similar ways we can approach it, and then at that point, baby girl can be a sister when that time comes. So I'm excited. But yeah, that's all I got. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for asking. Thanks for listening. Till next time.